Slippery David Davis tied himself in knots today to wriggle out of claims he misled the country about Brexit impact assessments. He insisted Britain could sign a Canada plus trade deal with the European Union the second after we leave. And he denied the words full alignment in the Brexit agreement signed by Theresa May on Friday would lead to the UK being forced to accept EU regulations. The Brexit secretary repeatedly boasted that assessments of the impact of Brexit were being worked on, examining in excruciating detail how leaving the EU would affect various parts of the economy. But last week he denied any such reports had been prepared. Today, he blamed the row on imprecise language. He told the BBC's Andrew Marr, "Yes, I used the word impact. Let me be clear. Impact assessment has got a particular meaning, almost in law, certainly in the civil service." He insisted, "During the course of the last 18 months, sectoral analysis is the phrase I've used." Asked if he had been loose in his language, he said, "I've answered questions on this probably over 1,000 times. And I've used sectoral analysis probably 999 times out of 1,000. This is untrue." He denied a clause in the deal Theresa May signed on Friday calling for regulatory alignment would mean we would be forced to continue to take EU regulations into UK law, insisting it simply meant the outcomes would be the same. He said, "We're not looking to create a circumstance where animal welfare is worse than it is elsewhere. We're not looking to create a circumstance where safety of food is worse, or indeed pollutions of waterways. So we will meet the outcomes but not do it by just copying or doing what the European Union does." In a bizarre exchange, Marr asked him to clarify, asking whether if the EU had a rule on carrots, wouldn't our rule on carrots have to be the same? He asked, "Wouldn't they broadly speaking be the same carrots?" Davis said, "Not necessarily." He clarified that while the outcomes would have to be the same, it meant we could use different methods to get to those outcomes. Davis also contradicted Chancellor Philip Hammond, who last week said Britain would pay the Brexit divorce bill even if we left with no deal. But he claimed the odds of a no-deal Brexit had dramatically dropped since Mrs May's agreement was signed on Friday. And asked if the most likely trade deal with the EU was a Canada plus the city arrangement, comparing it to the deal the Union has with Canada, but with more focus on financial services. He said it would be Canada plus. He said, "What we want is a bespoke outcome. We'll probably start with the best of Canada, the best of Japan and the best of South Korea, and then add to that, which is the services.